Welcome to the Astral Weather Report for November 28th through December 3rd, 2025. I'm Jeremy with the Light Army, and every 6 days I come on here to share with you the astrological influences that affect our human behavior, the way we think, the way we feel, our relationships, ultimately so you avoid confusion, conflict, drama, distraction, procrastination, and any detriment that this energy could bring to your life. And ultimately, through awareness and a little bit of direction advice, learn how you can utilize this to your advantage, to your benefit. So over this next 6 days, the theme is consistency creates connection, right? This is all about the art of love and rhythm. It's about stabilizing connection with devotion. It's about stabilizing connection, self-love through our consistency. So this week's field, this frequency, this transit brings ultimately the feelings and frequency of love, of rhythm, of authenticity, and it's about reconnecting to the core of self-love, of self-image. That is the motor of your self-worth, and bringing that into your relationships, your creative endeavors, into leadership, into your daily rituals and habits. And this energy feels a little tender, but it's really steady. It's here to remind you that exactly devotion and rhythm and consistency creates safety, and it really is love in action. And so you might feel some emotions arise around belonging and self-worth over this next few days. If you've been pushing yourself too hard or losing your rhythm, life will mirror where you're out of sync. And ultimately, this is the way that the universe invites you back into flow and consistency through presence, through compassion, through that awareness. So the reason this is, the sun has moved into the 10th signature. So in human design, that's called gate 10. It's all about the behavior of the self. It's about self-love embodied. It's also deeply about victim versus creator stories. So this energy can show up and reveal to you where you've been neglectful of the self, right? Self-neglect is the opposite of self-love. It'll reveal to you some comparanoia. You'll find yourself comparing where you've been to where you are versus where you want to be, into other people's lives. Comparison is truly the thief of joy. It can create kind of a loss of identity, make you feel like you don't know who you are, where you are. And the way to really embrace this as a gift is just having some grounded confidence, right? Living as love. And so the message that the 10th signature brings is like, self-love is not indulgence. There are a lot of cultural conditioning experiences, if you grew up in America, where self-love is seen as arrogance. It's seen as conceitedness or narcissism. And self-love is not an indulgent or a self-indulgent practice. It's energetic leadership, right? The earth has also moved into the 15th signature. So gate 15 in human design. And this is all about rhythm, the love of humanity. It's also known as the gate of extremes. And that's kind of the key, is not to live in the extremes. Inconsistency creates feast to famine extremes in every area of your life, whether that's financially, with your health and fitness, your relationships. And so that can create impatience, it can create jealousy. The way to really leverage the same energy is just to create more balance, realize where you're out of balance and change your trajectory, have a little human compassion, a little empathy, a little understanding. And rather than go to the blame game, come back to embracing the challenge, embracing the diversity, embracing the fluctuations, and the real rhythm this energy wants to communicate is just like for you to see that rhythm and consistency is what creates harmony. It's not about routine. It's not about mundane obligation. It's just that consistency sustains love. Think about this in every area. When you stop dating your partner, the consistency and the fluctuations of your connection are unstable. When you're inconsistent with your workouts, your self-love, your self-image, what you're open and willing to receive fluctuates. And the same thing is true with your finances, where you have consistency, checking your accounts, not being a helicopter financier, but just consistency that creates harmony, that creates structure, and ultimately that sustains a high level of self-worth, connection, and love. So the combined lesson of the sun in the 10th signature and the earth in the 15th signature is just really like love is a practice of rhythm, whether it's with yourself or with others. And when you honor your own timing, everything around you synchronizes. So the best way to navigate this, definitely avoid overgiving, overcommitment. Like, where are you confusing doing and productivity with love and connection? You don't need to recognize, oh my God, I've been off my health, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. No, don't overcorrect, just course correct. Don't fall into guilt-driven habits, right? When I feel guilt and shame, I'm going to eat my feelings and I'm just going to say, fuck the gym, right? I'm gonna go do some shopping therapy. No, don't fall into guilt-driven habits to sedate or run from those emotions. Don't, overuse substances, alcohol, weed, TV, binging anything, scrolling. That's the biggest things to avoid this next 6 days. The greatest way to leverage this to your benefit and advantage is just like slow down to speed up, move slowly, repeat what works, start installing and honoring your daily rituals again. But don't just treat them as tasks, treat them as a sacred doorway that unlocks your most authentic, radiant, shining, brilliant self. I just want to remind you that as much as we all are alike, we're all very individual, different snowflakes. There's no one like you on planet Earth. You're very special. And the way to amplify and express your authenticity is to make sure you show up with a charged tank, right? That classic old verbiage of put the mask on yourself before you go to care for others. Yeah, we'll make that mask a freaking golden mask that you do not ever negotiate with, that you honor those daily rituals to charge up. And when we feel our voltage charged, guess what? It's easy to see that we are in charge and we're responsible for all the outcomes in our life rather than playing the blame game or victim. So just practice micro love. It doesn't have to be like big, grandiose gestures, just like small acts of care for yourself and for others. This could be as little as a nod, a hug, a thank you, gratitude, expression of appreciation. It doesn't have to be massive. Revisit like a simple ritual that maybe you've fallen away from. Maybe it's breath work or journaling, or maybe it is working out or movement of some kind. Maybe it's dance, maybe it's music. Revisit a ritual that you want to install daily and practice installing it. Definitely express appreciation. It's pretty obvious, but the rhythm builds through repetition, and what you appreciate continuously becomes a swell of superpower, gratitude, and feel that makes you more resilient to pressure and stress in the outer world. A little reflection, just especially for entrepreneurs, consistency equals credibility. Right? The ignorance on fire always beats intelligence on ice. The people that do things are not necessarily the smartest, but they create the most trust and respect in the marketplace. So as an entrepreneur, consistency equals credibility, whether that's with your content, your deliverables. It really is the number one thing you can do to build trust through rhythm rather than reaction or tactic or anything else. A leader in general, whether it's your household, your friend group, or in business or elsewhere, people follow calm, conviction, not chaos. So if you've got chaos in your life and you're using that as an excuse for why you're not showing up in your fullest and best, throw those excuses in the garbage and just ask yourself, what could I do to show up with more calm, conviction? And it comes back to consistent daily rituals. How do you resolve conflict when it shows up? Do you respond from a place of peace and power, or do you react? As a parent, this is really important. Routines become emotional safety nets with your kids. Like if you tuck your kids in every single night and then you stop doing that, that's going to create a sense of ambiguity, and it's going to reduce intimacy, connection, and safety in general. So this doesn't have to be tied to that specifically, but just as a parent, keep your routines simple but steady. Consistency creates safety, creates a feeling of intimacy, connection, protection, calms the nervous system, creates a peaceful environment, more of a sanctuary for yourself. And just a couple questions to be with this week, internally, like where have you mistaken productivity and doing for love and connection for yourself or others, right? Where have you mistaken or confused productivity and doing for love and connection? And then, on the outside, externally, like, how can you bring rhythm and devotion back into your connection, back into your life, connection to the self? Our self-love and our self-image are very much so ingrained in our daily habits. Our identity is what we do consistently, not just fleeting sometimes. So, just ask yourself, how can I bring more rhythm, more consistency and devotion back into my connection through those daily rituals? Appreciate all of you. I'll see you here in 6 days. We are creating some real momentum on Wednesdays with the Breakthrough Lab. So if you want to expand your empire, grow your business, make more money without selling your soul, and learn business tactics, tools, principles to help you be a better marketer, really elevate your brand, create higher revenue, and create a culture of people that will walk on fire for you, both in your team and your clients, we'll help you do that in the Breakthrough Lab. It's free the first 100 people. Through the rest of the year, we're going to promote until we cap that and turn it into a paid program. And every other week outside of business, we help you evolve your being. So if you want to decode your genius, tap into a higher self-image, higher self-worth, ultimately learn the mindsets, the skills, and the strategies so that you can make more money without selling your soul, improve your relationship to yourself, harmonize your relationships, show up with more meaning, more purpose in your life. Every other week, we're going to focus on those topics. In the meantime, we're doing some cool stuff in the AI world. If you want to learn how to clone yourself using AI, clone your mind, and clone your image, we've got some cool stuff coming down the pipe. Just shoot me a DM if you want to know more about that. In the meantime, remember what you are. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the energy. You are the electrical inhabitant. You are the soul. Infinite love. Shine on. Bye for now.